Mavundla. Barameni.
Inda Barameni, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Podcast and Chill. Today we're joined by a very special guest. Her name is Yaya Mavundla. She's a transgender activist, a publicist, a blogger, events manager. She's the co-founder of Mzansi Pride, which is an LGBTI Pride March and Festival in South Africa. She's a judge of the biggest LGBTI awards in Africa, the Feather Awards. She's on the board member for Gender Dynamics, a Cape Town-based organization that advocates for transgender issues in Africa. Yaya, welcome to the show.
Hi, MacG.
How are you?
Half of the things there you said, I've left.
Is
Maybe
it?
2 or 3.
Oh, it's the CV it's what came up when I
Yeah.
Googled
Oh, yeah.
you.
I think that's on HuffPost. So I used to do something with, like a lot of work with a HuffPost.
Yeah.
So I think that's still there. So I've moved from Gender Dynamics. I'm now with another, I'm a board member now for another organization that is based here in Johannesburg, which is VETS AHRI.
Yeah.
I mean, it's works mostly on the work that has to do with transgender people,
Yeah.
healthcare, and I mean, they assist also with transitioning and a lot of other things. They are situated in Bram. And I used to judge the feathers how many years ago? Until then, I won a feather. I'm the recipient of the feathers. Then, I've since left being a judge.
Yeah.
But
So
any other things, I think I still do.
So before we talk about what happened this week, I think it's important, for on behalf of the network and the team, we would like to apologize profusely, for the comments we made, what happened, what transpired on Monday. A lot of people have a lot of things to say, and we take it all in, because if you watch that episode, we acted out of a place of ignorance, which is not an excuse, because you shouldn't be having to school two old men
Absolutely.
in this world about such an issue, especially if we call ourselves broadcasters. But yeah, I would like to apologize to the community and yourself included, because I know you're also a chiller. So I'd like to really, really apologize for what happened. Our intention was not to be malicious at any point. I don't know if you want to add anything. So.
No, definitely. Profusely apologize. Like you said, it was ignorance. Our intention was not to harm. However, we did harm, because if you're going to joke about a situation involving LGBT plus community, a community that is so marginalized, a community that, there are people just like anybody else, and they literally every day they get harassed, violated, killed, raped for who they are. So if you joke about that, me in this case, there is no funny, it can't be funny, because literally you are now almost validating a homophobe out there who has intentions of harming someone. Do you get me? Because I'm now perpetuating the further ridicule of that particular community, and I've since learned that it can't be funny, even though the words may not be of a hate speech, but you need to, in a sense, read the room and realize that, these are people who are literally endangered almost. So there's no place to joke about them or anything to do with them, because, I'm really sorry.
Let's just say you didn't get the blacklist that you did receive, on social media. I'm like putting it, let's just say we didn't have social media, and perhaps maybe like a few people reached out. Would you have felt the need to apologize and do this?
I would, if someone, like, you see what I just said right now, it made sense, because I've got mates who are part of the community, And even though they're like, well, Sol, I know you're not a homophobe, but what you said is homophobic because it ridicules people who are already marginalized. And there I got it. So even if there was no backlash, someone would tell me in my private or personal space or within my circle that, yo, that can't be funny.
But I feel like, this is my honest opinion, I feel like you felt the need that you needed to apologize and do this because there was a backlash. Because I'm going to go back to the episode that I had with you. I well, not here.
I remember your tweets. Yes.
I mean, you calling out to Vusinova gay and openly gay and saying even if he was bisexual, I mean, that's still gay. And for me, I mean, that's a problem. You can't say somebody, even if they are, I'm not saying he is, because I don't know, he's never said anything. And, you know, this was me now trying to reach out to you and say, listen, we can't label people based on what media has said about them, because they've never come out and say, this is who they are. People need to identify themselves. And I mean, then, okay, fine, you threw me with files that you had. But, you know, it's beyond that. I felt like I was trying to reach out to you to say, mind what you are saying, you know, because it's very dangerous for his career, for anything else, you know. And to say bisexual people are gay, that is incorrect. Bisexual, that's why there is a term called bisexual. They are bisexual. They are not gay.
So when hold on, so when this backlash was happening, right? I saw this and I'm like, this might be a teachable moment in terms of how many souls are there, how many MacGs are there who spew hate, who spew offensive words, but are not aware that they are doing so. So which is why I reached out to you. So maybe you can just shed some light. Obviously, in our personal capacity, we still have to want to know and learn and empower ourselves in this space, you know. But with what happened, where did we go wrong on that episode?
I think the first thing, you know, don't speak about things that you do not know. I think that's where we need to start. You don't speak about things that you don't know. You don't assume things about people. I mean, of course, you know, a person can look at me and, you know, because of course, I mean, there is a word that like people that use, oh my Yaya, so and so ticks as a woman, you know, and so you can see that she's trans. Okay, sure. If somebody then comes to me and asks me, you know, it really even goes back to how are they even addressing me? When now it's going to look like you are really trying to make fun of me, that is wrong, you know. I think it's always good to put yourself in other people's shoes, even if it's not the same thing, just anything else. Think if, okay, fine. If so and so were to say, think of the things that, you know, that could be a vulnerability, you know. Because if somebody were to come to me, I'd see, so and so, whereas that things offends me. If somebody says like, how will I feel, you know? And also, I feel like most of the people that, I mean, watch the podcast, it's without fail, I mean, which means they have internet, they have access to internet. If they really want to learn, they would have used the same internet to actually learn. So just be careful of what you say, you know. Yes, there are people out there really like who don't know. Like my family, they used to not to understand. But I showed up as myself. I didn't have to hide who I was because I needed that conversation to start. Unfortunately, yes, it didn't start. But I mean, they actually understood, okay, fine. Yaya, she is this person and this is how we need to address it. But also then, which means it went with respect, you know, because they respected me. And I always say, guys, trans people deserve respect just like anyone else. And don't need to ask you to respect me, to say, please respect me as a human being.
So when we go to the episode, can you like dissect, you know, because I'm trying to understand in future, if something like that were to happen again, then I know, oh, okay, cool. Is it what we said or the manner in which we said?
Everything in that clip is just wrong. From identifying a trans person as a she-male, that's ridiculous. And then calling yourself out to say, oh yeah, that's a wrong term. But then going further to even say something even worse than saying a she-male, saying there is a trans a woman with a dick, that is, that's bad, you know? I think even anyone who is right in their mind would actually still go, okay, fine, no, this is wrong. When you watch it, when you watch it. Maybe when you're saying it, but when you watch it, so then that's when then I come back and say, okay, fine, you've said it, sure. I'm sure, guys, something in your mind then comes back and say, no, man, you know what I just said. I mean, everybody, I would assume, you know, there are things that we say and we're like, oh shit, I didn't say that, you know, and you want to redeem yourself and do better. Lucky for you, this is not live, so you even have an opportunity to go back and actually edit it out.
Yes. Yes.
Let's just say you didn't have the education. Going back to you, so I mean, for me, you come across as somebody who, they even said it themselves, you know, I mean, your co-host, that you take it upon yourself to know things, you educate yourself, you know a lot of things. So yeah, I was like, how, for the, you know, for a person that's really knows so much, that's absurd, you know? That was painful. And for me, it then opened a can of worms, like a platform for homophobes and transphobes, because specifically, actually, this is like a transphobe issue, you know? It's a trans issue, you know? Transphobes coming out there, guns blazing, and giving it to us how they actually feel, you know? Because people actually said exactly how they feel about us, you know? Which then leads to so many trans people dying in South Africa in the hands of men. In the hands of men. Trans people dying in the hands of men that they've dated previously, because then the society says, you know what, you are not a man enough to date a trans woman. You know what, how dare you date a trans woman? Then a man is going to come back and say, oh my gosh, I'm ashamed to be with this person. For everybody else not to know, let me just kill her. Because if this comes out, everybody's going to shame me. Do you understand? It then starts a conversation that is, of course, needed, but in a very, very distasteful way. For me, I was like, okay, you know what? The conversation is important to happen, but it's
not like this.
Not like this.
I get what you mean.
You know? So educate, you know, I always say, guys, you don't need a degree to know better. Because even people that, like some people that have degrees and diplomas and sometimes you look at them, you're like, what did you just say? You know, it's just like so disappointing. And then we had people that had massive voices that couldn't even say shit. I don't know if because they wanted to score themselves a seat on this couch, I don't know. That's, you know, they had an opportunity to educate because it's women that we chill with, you know, that we assist when they go to these awards and these events to look great. Makeup artists, you know, which are queer, that make sure that these women look great. They were silent on that day. And for me, I was like, what is this? What is this? Peltusi, who I love so much and really like have looked up to her and been inspired about her story and everything else, and went as far as defending her when people, you know, were harassing her about colorism. And I understood exactly where it's come from. She went and retweeted things that were pro hate. I was like, I cannot believe this. This is you saying this is okay. You know, people need to do better. People that have voices need to do better.
I saw a tweet, I think it was Tandy Somazwai, who said, not just the podcast, just people in general shouldn't address or discuss perhaps the anatomy of transgender people without one in the room. So are you saying in the future we shouldn't talk about it?
For me, educate yourself in an extent that, you know, you know what you're talking about.
Because you know what happened with me, yeah.
Because of course you can't always have a trans person on the couch or wherever. I mean, even on radio when they discuss these things, they don't always have
the experts.
Be it's a blind person, disabled person, a gay person, or a straight person. If they are discussing any issue, they don't necessarily have to have, but they need to be knowledgeable to say, okay, fine, I'm talking about something that I know.
So we can talk about it if we feel 100% that we are well read up and 100%
absolutely, because we need those voices. We need those voices, but the voices need to be positive.
Because you know what happened with me, Yaya? When I was working at Y, right? People think I got fired for that, the homophobic thing, right?
Okay.
Which wasn't the truth.
It's not the truth?
No, it was like, it was a build-up of a lot of things that were happening off air, on air, and that was just the last straw.
So you didn't say you hated gay people?
I did.
You did.
I did.
That is homophobe.
Yeah, but at the time I didn't know.
You didn't support the pastor that was apparently had said.
No, I just thought it was funny.
You thought it was funny?
Yeah, which is
it's not funny.
It's not funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't fired for that.
No, because they gave me a warning. And then something else that transpired after that. That's
when you were sitting on your last warning.
Yes. So
then now we move to 94.7. Okay. Did you not get into trouble because of the same thing?
No, not at all. And that's
did I not take you to the workshop?
No. We did workshops, but nothing about trans workshops. And
LGBTI?
No workshops like that. And that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, so my story starts at Y, right? So I get fired because of homophobic behavior. And then after that, I was told, just don't speak about it. Like, don't you know, Radio 101 is you don't speak about it. There's a few things in radio you don't talk about. Religion, LGBT community.
For me, I don't like it when people say don't talk about specific topics. You need to speak about those things, but you need to be knowledgeable about that. You need to be sensitive about that. You need to exactly know your facts. You need not to offend people. You are talking about because you are in support. And it's not because you want to joke and make fun of people and you are encouraging homophobes and transphobes to go kill people out there. Because tell you what, any public figure has influence. The moment you have a mic in front of you and there are people, even if it's 10 people or 3 people, you have influence to influence those 3 people, and those 3 people can influence the other people. So we need to have those conversations, but be careful of what you say. Say the right things.
So when it comes to saying the right things, let's come to the terms. So she-male, that's a term you can never use.
Like, I feel like for you to even know the word she-male, so that the term she-male, it means you know where it comes from. There is no way you say somebody is male and you don't know where male comes from. So for you to mention she-male, you know exactly what she-male means. And people make excuses. No, I didn't know. No, dude, like, how do you say something that you've never heard? Did you just like think of the word like, do you make words like Somizi? No, At least if people were to ask Somizi, what does he mean by saying you shame? He would explain, because you know what? He actually came up with that. But you can't say things that are already existing and think you're just going to say them and say you didn't know. You knew exactly.
So how do you guys want to be called?
Who is you guys?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's
when
the
you
right?
say you guys, it could be trans people, it could be gay people, it could be intersex people, it could be gay people. Because at this present moment, I can only speak for transgender women.
Okay, how do transgender women want to be called?
They are women. Transgender women are women.
Okay.
They are she.
So the term trans woman isn't...
Her. Maybe they are, then they are that wants to be identified as they. Yeah, but there is no way that you're going to think it's okay to say a transgender woman is a man. You've already said it's a trans woman.
Okay.
Trans woman.
Yeah.
So now why are you feeling, why are you thinking it's okay to say a transgender woman is a man? Why are you mixing why are you
I
mixing the two?
I see.
You know? And, people like generally, I feel like, we've been, as trans people, we've been excluded for so long, for many years until we built our own table, and now that our table, is stronger and is colorful. And then everybody wants a piece of it and they want to get us out of the same table that we built for ourselves. And it's them that are sitting there. And that is unfair. It's like, as street kids, ohlala estradini, after a long time, ehlala khona, after ethola a furniture to build something for themselves and clean that space, then the society comes and say, oh no, you're not deserving to actually use this space. This is our space. Because now it's clean, I'm not saying trans people were dirty before, but I'm just like making an example to know what, until something is out there, then people can see, it's okay, we can benefit from it, then everybody else wants to benefit out of, because right now people are waving like on the whole narrative, you could see Black Lives Matter movement, Black Trans Lives Matter movement that is happening around the globe. Then they think, okay, if I know what we're going to benefit out of that, let me say something, let me have an input.
I see,
Yeah. And for me, that is wrong. Can we have our own voices? Can we say things ourselves? Can we speak up? If I feel I need to address something that is like burning, that is frustrating me, can it be a trans woman first that says something?
And I wanted to find out from you, as we saw on social media this week, there were a lot of people that were enraged. And then there were also a lot of people calling the community too insensitive, or too sensitive rather. What's your take?
Do you think we were sensitive?
No,
I don't think
no. I mean, if you watch the podcast, the podcast is a voice for the voiceless. You understand? So whoever's voiceless, I'm for that.
So for me, like I said earlier, this opened a platform for homophobes and transphobes to show themselves, to address burning issues that they've always had, and they were just not brave enough. They were just not brave enough to say, "This is what I think of you." Until then, there's a conversation they want to weigh on it. And I always say, Mina. Personally, I don't give a shit who says what about me. Really, I mean, I don't care. But don't lead me to saying something, because when I say something, you won't like it.
Yes.
You're definitely not going to like it. And I'm going to come across as a Black angry woman.
Yes.
And I don't want that narrative. And when I'm angry, I should really be angry because you've pushed me that far. I'm generally such a nice person, like generally, I sometimes even things that I should, that should annoy me, I just look at them, I'm like, okay, do better, know better. But the whole thing, that's what's happening on social media, people calling us angry, people calling us very sensitive, saying like I saw Xander, there's this girl who was on DJ Dix's song saying, we don't even accept ourselves. How do we expect people to accept us? I'm like, what do you know about acceptance? Have you accepted yourself? I'm like, guys, this is not a platform for people who can't afford to pay for services to then now weigh on the conversation and think they can say a word so that people can notice them. It's really not. That's actually this is real life. How about Jakey talking about things I don't know? This is not fiction. It's real life. It's real life issues. Trans people are dying, are killed by men. And sometimes when they die, they are even identified as men because people just want to erase trans visibility. I'm not, of course, one to speak for every other trans person. I always say, for me, it's all about trans visibility, but I'm not going to be the voice, of course, for every other trans person. But I don't like it when people on social media then think they can all then now come out and say things that they don't know about us. We were not being sensitive. Even if we were sensitive, we are rightfully so, because what was said about us was wrong.
And it's for you. Like, I feel like people are, they think they can define what can or cannot offend you, and how you should react to that offense. It's like a white person telling you that no, what I said is not racist. Yet you as a black person insist, no, dude, that was racist.
That was racist.
You get me? And
You know?
how you as a black person react, the white person can't control it. And the white person can't be like, you're too sensitive, bro. I just said, go away, you monkey, for example. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's where a lot of us don't, lose the plot. We think we can tell people what and what not offends them.
And how they must react.
Exactly. That's why I said, yes, what I said is transphobic. Due to someone schooled me that, no, dude, it is transphobic.
Do you think people want to be schooled?
I want to be schooled.
Yeah.
If you're open-minded, generally.
People in general, do you think people want to be schooled?
If I were to be honest, no.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
From what I saw, people don't want to be schooled. They said to hell, this is what we think of you, and we're going to say exactly what we think of you.
But that's why conversations like these are very important.
Absolutely. But then it goes back to saying, then don't speak about us. Then if like on social media, if you are not willing to say things that are not positive.
Oh, I see.
If you don't want to say something positive, don't speak about us.
Keep your mouth shut.
If you hate me, okay, sure, fine. You hate me, keep it there.
Yes.
Because
Yes, yes.
like I always say, somebody asks, oh my gosh, did you see so and so was saying something? I'm like, babes, why are you telling me about people that I don't know? Like, I don't know them. I don't want to respond to people that I don't know. The only people that I will focus on are people that I actually think I know them, and I want my energy to invest my energy to responding to that. But some, I'm like, you know what, dude, I don't know this person. Why am I entertaining them? You know? So people, because I don't remember, you know, I saw a post that somebody tagged me on Facebook. I'd say, oh yeah, until this happens to them, then they're going to be so loud. But trans people and gay men are always harassing men. I'm like, I've never harassed any man. No man could ever come out there and say, oh Yaya was harassing them, wanting to sleep them or whatsoever. I've never. I don't do that, you know. And if it does then happen, that's okay, fine. I do happen to like somebody. It really is okay for me to say that I actually like you. And if you don't, sure, we move.
And I mean,
it's not a crime.
And isn't that like a personal flaw of that person? For example, a heterosexual guy will share like a woman and she says no, and he persists, right? And
but
now it's harassment,
still,
but you wouldn't say that's all men. So even when that happens to that guy who was saying he's been pestered by a gay guy, surely that doesn't mean the entire community is. Do
you
like
understand?
Because I mean, I've got a song. I do have a song with someone who's gay. I've had friends, and you know what I mean. It's they're not like that, you know. And for people to say no, gay men by Sheila or whatever. No, but it's my just thing that is, guy.
Even if they, let's just say they did. Let's just say like, okay, they did. Okay, I will, for just once, I will speak on behalf, like, to mention gay men.
Okay.
Let's just say a gay man did ask you out. A gay man, I need to, with their defense, they would say, yeah, it's only a man who's supposed to ask a woman out. Pursue. Okay, fine, sure. A gay man is a man.
That's true.
A gay man is not planning to be a woman. They don't wish to be women. They are men. So, which means if men are the ones that are meant to pursue, then let them do it.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
You understand?
If a gay guy asks
and it's
me
when
out,
you are saying it's men that are supposed to pursue, a gay man is a man.
And there's
who are they supposed to ask out now? They need to now, for the sake of, and go pursue women because it's going to be seen offensive if they pursue another man. Please, they're interested in two men.
And so what do you think?
As a guy, when I see a woman, let's say she's thick, she got curves, and that's my cup of tea. That's what I like, right? So when a gay guy asks me out, he sees me, maybe I've got what he likes, what he's into. He likes me, but at the point where I'm like, I'm not interested in you, it's equal to a woman saying,
and guys,
you know.
And also, I don't want to now people tend to think I'm speaking on their behalf. This is just my opinion as we are, you know. I don't want them to say, oh no, you know, how dare you say this? That's just me. I'm not saying everybody should do that or is like that.
What do you think, as the podcast and as the media space, what's our role? What can we do?
To educate, to do things better, to let people tell their own stories. That's the role of the media.
Question
Need to be fair.
to you personally. So we lost a sponsor. If that sponsor had said, we've spoken to these guys and we've given them a stern warning, and we will take it upon ourselves that they educate themselves around this issue that they were so arrogant about, would you accept that?
Ignorant.
For me, I mean, I hate it when people lose work. You know, I don't like it because, I mean, I grew up, I come from a very disadvantaged background. Just because now I'm here, it doesn't mean I've always lived in Houghton for the rest of my life, or I grew up in Houghton. No, you know, I worked for me to get there. So, in Kulemakaya, you know, where we didn't have, and I always say, tomorrow when I don't have, maybe it won't be as painful because I know the experience. But I would hate to see somebody not to have because of anything or any mistake that they've done. If they are willing to do better, and they are really, really willing to do better, not just because they are doing it for face. Because, you know, people can do it, you know, yeah, like, you know what, I'm just going to like apologize and I move on. Unfortunately, you know, there is something called your past will haunt you. It doesn't happen by default, guys. It doesn't happen by default, and the universe listens. I'm a huge believer of the universe, that the universe listens. If you think you're just gonna say I'm sorry and you're gonna go do like fucked up shit tomorrow, it's gonna come back and bite you.
Yeah.
You know,
We've seen that. Like lately, we've seen things that have been happening in the dark are now coming to light.
Absolutely, because people weren't genuine about the things that how they were trying to do things. You know, they were just doing it for the sake of. Don't do anything for the sake of. Rather, do not apologize, guys. If you don't feel you want to apologize, don't do it. Because if you do it and you think, okay, fine, I'm gonna go on, and then I'm still gonna do the same thing. No one's going to know. I'm gonna do it in the dark. Even if you were to move to New York, it will follow you. And you know the sad thing, these things happen when you are at your highest. Universe, yo guys, yagiyekela, thrive, uzamu. When you are thriving, everything comes back. Do you remember? And you know, at that time, you don't understand why is this happening to you, because you're like, but why? Why me?
You know what hurt me the most? Because I'm sure, I mean, you're a chiller, you watch the podcast. You know, like everybody who watches the podcast knows I have no homophobic, transphobic bone in my body.
I don't know that.
You know.
No.
You know, you've watched.
You cannot put me, like, no. Now you want people to say I'm a sellout. Oh yeah, she's sitting on, she's a sellout. How dare she?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let me tell you.
Listen, based on what you've said on the phone, I can't assume, you know. Even, you know, I don't want to lie to you. I had a chance to, when I found out that, because I remember the first time I watched your podcast, I actually got referred by a friend of mine, Owake, who's on radio in Durban, and like, Yaya, you know, you should check MacG's podcast. Like, okay, sure. Then I checked it out and I liked it. And then I went to check who's MacG. Man, I was like, but why? Why would he do that? You know? But then I was like, okay, she's probably have changed. I don't know, you know? Because I mean, that's what is reported on the media. But also, just because it's reported on the media does not necessarily mean it's true. You've said, it's okay, it's not the reason why you were fired. But I mean, the mere fact that, I mean, you did
Yes.
act that was wrong.
Yes.
It's okay, fine. Then there is no way, based on what I've watched you saying, then I can quickly then assume and say, this is who you are. Like, for instance, I thought you were tall. I thought you were tall. Until I'm like, oh my word, okay.
Yeah.
So you can't, guys, face value judgment is a problem. It's problematic. You can't judge anything on face value based on, you can't.
But what I'm trying to say to you, Yaya, this is why I took it back to why. I'm like, after the why thing happened, same thing as now. It's like, yo, dude, I don't mean any harm.
No, but this time around you meant harm because you laughed about it. You said it. He even said it like 3 times. Like, yeah, that's not a mistake.
So
And you had an opportunity to edit. It's not like at Wide where it was live. So for me, I would bluntly say I felt you wanted the community to react, and they then reacted.
not at all. So there's two ways. There's two ways I could have.
I wish this was alcohol.
There's two paths I could have taken after why. I could have taken a path to educate myself, right?
So you didn't educate yourself?
No, like that's what I said. Like what I was told after that happened is, yo, dude, whatever
Don't say
happens,
anything.
don't say anything about the community because they will fuck up your bags and they run the industry. That's what I was told.
I wish you were running the industry.
So since that day, I've never said anything. So if you check the video, if you go back, it was Saul that was talking, right? I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
I
did.
I even mentioned, I'm like, yo, dude, I don't know anything about this world. My fuck up was number one, not being a leader. Because
you're supposed to call him out.
Yes.
I think also that's why also now I've got, people like calling me out for trying to say I'm excluding. I'm like, I'm not excluding him, but I'm addressing the actual person that started this conversation. Here he is.
Okay.
Then the person that's entertained him, that was supposed to stop him. Here he is.
Yes.
So what he needs to do, reprimand his co-host
and be accountable.
And Ghost Lady, because I see people are not saying shit about her, and I'm like, she was there giggling and like, for real? He did that? And I'm like, this is a woman who's gonna come out tomorrow and say gender-based violence, wada. You can't.
So let's say you are MacG, right? And I go, oh, by the way, young Buck used to see a person like this, Anne, and then I say, I think they refer to as.
What was the reason for you?
Say?
What was the reason for you, even guys, to actually bring up people's relationships? Because you weren't talking about that. You were talking about who's the trans woman? Or Sivgis. Then it's quickly went.
It's
then,
a conversation. It can go. I forgot how.
Either way.
Yeah,
okay,
it can go
fine.
anyway.
But,
you don't plan a lot of things.
Okay, you were still making that example.
Yeah, so I was saying basically, when do you interject as MacG and what do you say? How do you call me to order?
Okay, yeah, MacG agrees with you. Okay, yes.
No. So you're losing it. You're losing it.
I'm saying, what were you supposed to say?
No, it's not about what I'm supposed to say. There's things I could have done. Like she said after the episode, if I had the intellect, the leadership to know what you said is wrong, we could have removed it.
Yes, you could have removed it.
Yes.
But also, even during,
you don't call me to order.
There was no reason for you to laugh about it because it was not funny. And for me, then which means you looked at that relationship as a joke. If you're laughing about it, which means that relationship is a joke, Why is somebody's relationship a joke? Why is a soccer player dating a trans woman a joke? Besides you even saying anything that was hateful, why is a trans relationship with a soccer player
a joke?
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, here we are.
The most heartbreaking thing for me out of all of this, right? I think in hindsight, I know it's gonna sound wrong, but I think in hindsight, I'm glad what happened, so we could have this conversation.
It's funny because I always say that, and I know people then take it like, oh, how dare you say that? And I'm like, it's just so unfortunate to go to that. Some conversations need to start the way they've just started. It's just unfortunate, It's like, I was once stabbed after Pride. So I have like a huge scar here on my arm. I was stabbed, and one of my interviews, I said, I'm actually glad that it's actually happened, because then it starts that conversation of hate crime, amongst trans people, because some people think, these things only happen to lesbian women and a handful of gay men, they think.
Yeah.
And it's not the truth. There is so much that happens, to transgender people. And, you can't just wake up in the morning and just hate on a person. And it actually does happen,
where does the hate come from? Do you think, because I've heard this a lot, that some men are homophobic because they themselves...
They're gay.
Oh, yeah. Is that even a thing?
I'm not now going to identify people that are hateful as gay.
They've got sexual...
Because I don't think gay people are angry, hateful. I don't think so. But also, abanye, it does evoke those emotions. Oh, how dare he lives the life that I should have been living, you know? Because you know, we need to understand that, especially us as Black people, in background here too, we don't have like a setup structure to say when you are like 18, you're gonna go live on your own and make it immediately and have a career.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Even before that, you know, you are living under my rules, my parents. And because of what a society has said, it's already difficult for you to come out or to even live your truth, you know? And for those that are brave, sometimes they do trigger those emotions to other people to say, oh shit, how the fuck, how dare, you know? I myself receive a lot of like hates from other trans people, you know? I used to, for the longest time, I used to think I was never enough, or I didn't look good. Like, I questioned myself a lot because of how other trans girls or even gay men that's, you know, used to put me through and say, you know, shame me. But until I think I came into terms and, you know, with who I was. And now I look at myself and I look at my pictures, I look at the mirror, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm actually fucking hot. I don't care who says what, you know? And even if I wasn't hot, I'm living my truth and you aren't. Not that I'm rejoicing you not living your truth, but try and see ways it's going to take you.
And that's the hardest part, living your truth.
It's very hard because society, you know, people always say, you chose to be like this. No. Before you even know this is who you are, society has already told you this is who you are. I tell you what, most queer people, before they even, like me, because years ago I used to identify as gay. So before I even thought I was gay, society already, when I was growing up at school, they used to say, istabaneles. And at that time I didn't know, because I mean, I didn't know what was that until I went home and told them. And I'm like, but why? Because I didn't understand why, you know. I knew I was very feminine. I felt, you know, in my mind, I was a girl. I was participating in beauty pageants with other girls. But I never understood why are people feeling the need to say gistabani, you know. So you see, it's people that are already telling you when you don't even know. And there are so many other people. There are people that are married, you know, and other straight people. That's how I gay. Straight people saying, stabani so yambonu hamba kanjani, you know. And I'm like, why are you saying umuntu is this person based on how they look or how they behave, you know? And also, they haven't said anything to you. Why are you assuming? So there are a lot of people, straight people, that have been told, Kuta, when you are gay, just come out. And it's like, okay, even if you didn't want to come out, maybe you are. Why are you telling me to do it?
Is there a proper vernac term for gay?
Yo, when it comes to vernac, guys, maybe I shouldn't even just say this.
Because there's the S1, there's the N1, and they both
for me, it sounds very wrong. It sounds ugly. But also maybe, you know, it's how, this is me saying maybe, you know, how are people, the context.
Just what's happening here?
You know, the context of everything, you know. Because I myself, I mean, grew up Ngazilao, because those are the only ones that I know. And unfortunately, Tiwa, according to isiZulu Vele, those are the only ones. But people are using it to hate. Not because they just want to, like, you know, when I was stubborn, just like chilling. No, stubborn, very less. You see, there's a difference, It's like myself, I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but my friends and I would sometimes, I remember even with Iko, may his soul rest in peace. We used to say Mofi to each other. Hi, Mofi Unjan. You understand? This is me and Iko saying it to each other. But I'm not expecting now a heterosexual person to say Mofi.
Yes.
That is rude.
It's like nigger in the US.
Do you understand?
Black people call one another, but once a white
person
person,
is-
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So also it's the intention. What are your intentions?
Oh, I
exactly?
see.
It's a term of endearment.
Do you understand?
Opposed to trying to hurt
Absolutely.
you.
You say you are very educated.
When he wants to be, eh?
And when
he wants to be. Hey, I miss Len. Hey, we never had these issues.
All you see is Muleko with me now. But look, question. Transsexual, transgender is...
So now you want me to
difference?
say things that are out there that people can just like Google and find out.
Well, you're
If
here
you want
now,
to.
that's why I asked.
If you
But
want
I'll
no.
Google later.
So my thing is, if anyone responds to this, which means they're able to actually go to Google. And for me, I don't want to paraphrase it and say like just one line. Read everything that is there.
Okay.
Read everything that is there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, as a team, we've decided we're going to go on an intensive diversity training. I spoke to Tammy. Tammy Dish, you know Tammy Dish? Yeah. So we're going to go
What
on
did he say?
He said we must come Sunday. We're going to do a 2-hour of the whole team, the whole entire team.
How did you feel after laughing, actually?
For me, I was laughing at the conviction, the tone in which he said, woman with the dick. I wasn't laughing. Yeah.
Why?
I wasn't laughing at what he was. I was laughing at the fact
And I wasn't trying to say it's a joke.
How are you emphasizing? Like you want the viewer at home to get it.
But I wasn't trying to. This guy sometimes, I don't want to say they put me in trouble because I'm the one who said the words. But I wasn't trying to. Because here's the thing, right? I have vetted watching porn, come across this category. I'm not going to say the word, it's derogatory. You click and that's what I saw. You get me? So I was just describing.
No, just say
especially,
you did
especially,
it didn't just come across. I mean, I don't watch porn.
When the Young Buck story came out,
know.
when the Young Buck story came out, I then Googled this, right? And then that's what I saw. And so when I said women with, it's so
funny.
It's what I've seen.
Even me as a trans woman, I didn't know that, he dated a trans woman. And I'm like,
they didn't date actually.
How though that he said he bought.
Yeah, he said it was catfished. So what happened was he was talking, obviously, he's talking to a woman, he's seeing a woman, it is a woman, right?
Yeah.
And then they got into a position whereby they were in a room and she was recording the whole thing. And I believe that's when he found out, that's when he backed away. And when it was put out there, it was as if, they're dating. Obviously, when we're having a conversation... But
did he say they weren't dating?
No, they weren't dating. No,
he denies it.
He denies it. She says, yes, they were. He denies it.
Of course it's going to deny it because now there's backlash. Society is saying, oh, how dare you're dating another man,
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, most men, the reason why, then they come out and say, no, I didn't, because society is saying, how dare. It's usually because of society. I mean, I, for one, have dated you've had this person on this, he was on this couch and I was like,
who's this?
Okay. Excuse me, no.
Yeah.
And for me, I know for a fact, you know what, if we had to make sure I had to protect his career, and I feel bad that I did that, but also at the same time, I understand, you know what, had anyone knew about it, beside my friend, it would have been a big thing.
Who's this? Lasizwe?
No.
Can't be Lasizwe.
She's saying it's a heterosexual
a
guy who claims.
Generally, I date men. It doesn't matter age.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I see.
So, yeah. Then the person, unfortunately, then happens to be, in a public space. And we both knew, which, you know what, had anyone
found out,
regardless of how I identify as, they would have then labeled me male. They would have said he was gay. Because society already says this is who you are before you says when this is who am I.
Are you comfortable to talk about your transition?
Sure.
Yeah.
But what about it?
What happens? What is it? What is
What
that?
happens?
When you go through a transition, what happens?
So this is also the other thing, people think immediately because you identify as transgender, then you must go and have surgery
Okay.
or you must take hormones.
Mm.
What then happens to a trans woman who can't afford
Yeah.
to do that?
Mm.
Are they then now transless?
Mm.
What then happens to a trans woman who just have no interest, of changing their sex part? Like, what then happens? Does it mean then they're transless? But for me, I mean, for many years, I really didn't want to. I didn't feel the need. I remember Zanele Mholi used to say, yeah, you're going to get old and, it's going to be difficult. But I just didn't want to put myself under pressure because also remember, it's costly, Even the organizations that are there, that are meant to assist, it's just like, why are these organizations run like, a tuck shop? Why are they doing that? Now, some of the things are just like, why? Can you just do better already? I mean, people are struggling. So then until I then decided, guys, I feel like I'm ready. I can afford to go to the pharmacy to buy my own hormones. When I'm ready, I can go do the breast surgery when I want to. I can go do a bottom surgery when I want to, So I think that's where I'm at right now. Yeah. It's exciting. It's scary sometimes. I think about my family a lot. I think about my friends, but you know what I did? I said to myself, I needed to transition with my family. With this journey, I need them to be there to understand because I don't want them, when I get home, I'm now like, the appearance is totally different. So, this, and I think also the stages that I've taken makes me happy because, I've literally transitioned right in front of them, I go home like maybe at least twice a year, not a year, sorry, in every 2 months. Yabona guys, English ngenzani ke manje. So in every 2 months, I try and go home or 3 months, so that, I don't disappear and then I come back and I'm, totally. So I need to transition in their presence. They need to see this is who Yaya is,
Have you come across any trans women who regrets having surgery or who would have, like, afterwards?
I mean, it happens. I haven't come across with here in South Africa because, I mean, of course, there aren't a lot. But, I mean, it does happen. Yeah. It does happen. I think also, the other thing that I was thinking about the other day, I'm like, I just wonder what will happen if then there's a trans person who transition like fully, even with the bottom surgery. But Home Affairs then decides they're just going to delay things and then her ID still says male. Because we have a huge issue with Home Affairs.
Right? The ID number needs to change.
And for me, I don't understand why doesn't Home Affairs have a trans person there? Or even people, not even just one, a lot of trans people there.
Diversified.
Because we can't assume that we know what people are going through just because of what we've read from the media or what one person, what Yaya might have said. It does not mean that all other trans people are going through the same thing.
So Home Affairs does not change.
They do.
The ID numbers.
I mean, for me, it has taken me 3 months already. Not even just an ID number.
Because the
your
number,
gender
you can tell.
there, it needs to change. Exactly. And that's the other thing in South Africa. The last 3 numbers already are saying this is who you are. They're identifying you. They're not giving you the opportunity to. And also there are so many other things that are on that form that I think like, can just Home Affairs do better? They need to change that form actually.
It's 2021.
You need your parents' ID numbers, your name. For instance, I don't know my mother. I've never met my mother. So I now need to get my mother's name and my ID number. Where am I going to get it?
That's not practical.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
and they're like, okay, we're going to try and revive her information. I'm like, she's not the one that actually went there and got a birth certificate for me. It's somebody else. How are you going to find her? Do you understand? It's very, very problematic. And I always say, guys, Constitution in South Africa is a joke. It's one-sided. It's for the rich people. or should I even say for those that are connected to parliament and politicians, because there are so many other trans people that are struggling out there. Work. I always say trans people can't find work because so I know your IT sales, you are male, you need to get to work as a boy. And that is wrong. And it's Home Affairs that is making it difficult for people, you know. There are just like so many other issues that, you know, government first need. My police station, I feel like, you know, guys, I don't know how many cases I've opened in a police station that were never, what's this?
Prosecuted.
Prosecuted, and they've never done anything with it, you know. None of them, you know. But me, if I were to commit crime today, trust me, I'll be behind bars. Zoboshwa ngiye Sun City.
And they've been insulting you as well.
Do you understand? And yes, and you know, and they give you that look and they ask you, oh my gosh, oh, and then they laugh about it. Oh no, I thought cherry. You know, then you become a topic, whereas they're supposed to be helping you. Especially once I remember there was a nurse. I was supposed to get treatment and I was admitted, and she asked me when last did I was I on my periods. I said to her, no, I haven't been on my periods. I'm a trans woman. She said, oh no, you're a man, and she left. Do you understand? And I'm like, guys, mostly trans people, we pay so much tax. I alone, we pay 25% tax because most trans people are self-employed and they are, freelancers. Freelancers pay so much tax in South Africa, but listen, we are erased. Erased. They don't give a shit.
Damn.
So can you imagine how many issues that trans people are going through? Yeah. There is a gay person that was recently made, that was murdered in Durban, Emlazi Ulindosia. His other name is Stele. His story was on, I think, Cutting Edge the other day when the whole thing blew up. His murderer is known, has appeared in court and admitted he was stabbed 21 times. When he died, the person has not been persecuted. He's out living his life. Is that fair?
No.
But I tell you what, if it was a queer person, this would have been a huge thing. They would have been in jail. Not that when queer people, when they've done something, then they shouldn't be persecuted. But it just shows society have double standards.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much for coming through, man. And I hope you continue to call us out, you know. And
I hope there will be no need.
No. There won't.
I'm just saying, not even you, to call people out, because you know what? Trans people, guys, deserve respect. Deserve respect. I'm not even supposed to be asking you to respect trans people. Respect people. See the person as a person, and it ends there.
Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, as a team, we have decided we're going to go for that diversity training. We're going to continue to empower ourselves and learn more about this. And hopefully we can bring other people, other chillers as well, who are just like us, ignorant, and on the journey of learning, you know, because this is a really sensitive, serious issue, you know, and we can't like fix it overnight, but with the little platform that we have, we'll do as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To enlighten the situation and bring it up and talk about it with facts.
Absolutely, that is needed. Facts, guys. Yeah. You know, because I mean, we can't stand now saying, because for me, then when we then say don't speak about certain topics, then people won't know. You know, because I mean, there are people that, of course, don't have the means of getting into Google of whatsoever. So we need those conversations to happen, but it needs to be correct conversations. You know, it's need not to be
informed.
Offensive. It need not to perpetrate a hate, because we saw people are very hateful. And I don't know what's brought the hate, this much hate, but people are very hateful. We live in fear every day. You know, every day we live in fear.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, man. Once again, I apologize profusely on behalf of the team. I want to apologize to you, the whole community, and we will do better, trust me.
Please do better. Engage with the community. Like, speak to the community, guys. You know, it doesn't cost... it doesn't cost much to just pick up a phone and, you know, speak to somebody if you want to find out, you know, about something. You know, I'm not saying now be friends with, but speak to people that, you know, that's are at your disposal to say, okay, how can I do better? Who can I speak to find out about 1, 2, 3, and 4? You know, and for me, I always say, like, even now, I think you are actually, both of you, in a great platform to then now be the one to educate even your chillers.
Yes,
you know, to call them out, to say this is not right, to lead the conversation.
100%.
Because if you do better, they will do better.
100%.
Yeah.
Are you gonna unsubscribe?
Too late.
I unfollowed everything.
Too late.
I unsubscribed. I was like, I am done with this, guys. How dare?
No, we need you, man. Please subscribe again. We need you.
Yeah.
I subscribed when you need that apology app.
Yeah.
Because for me, I mean, I wish you guys well. I want the podcast. I want Black people to succeed. I want us to support each other. You know, one thing that Iko told me, she always said, Yaya, no matter how angry you are, you just need to know that no man is an island. You know, no man is an island. We need each other. And whoever the person that you might say something to, not because now I want to scare people, but it's reality. What you say to me today, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You might walk into the same space, and I'm the decision maker.
Yeah, 100%.
And I always say, people, they're going to be shocked because they don't see it coming. Trans people are going to be in power, not like in a blink of an eye, it's going to happen. And trans people are going to be in power. And we don't want to find ourselves accused of saying, oh yeah, bayasivalela. But thank you for wanting to do better.
No, thank you for coming on. Sorry. Like I said,
I just wish the other people that you had invited did come through, because we needed as many voices as possible.
Yeah, I invited
but it's just unfortunate.
Dr. Bev. She declined. Invited King Olwe.
Okay,
he was shooting today. He was going to come, but he was shooting today. So he said he's only available Tuesday. I invited Eno, I think. He said yes, but then we couldn't get hold of him today. I also invited...
Diva, I was speaking
Diva.
to Diva.
Yeah.
Diva is working commitments. So
Cool. Would have been nice to have a round table, but we can still do it, you know?
Yeah,
we can still do it,
It doesn't mean that it should be a
once-off thing.
It can be one of many. And I mean, guys, love is better than hate.
100%.
I always say that love is better than hate.
Yeah.
Don't hate on somebody just because, like, you feel like, okay, I don't like the person.
Yeah.
If you don't like the person, keep it to yourself.
Hey, I need to get rid of this laugh. It gets me into trouble. This laugh.
It's okay to laugh, but laugh about the right things.
Yeah.
Laugh about things that are like a joke, that are
actually funny.
That's actually funny, not because you want to come across as being funny.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that's the other thing. People sometimes do things because they want to entertain. You know, I was speaking to a friend of mine that is on radio, because, I mean, I've been getting a lot of people saying, you know, try and do radio, and even like being offered a few
slots.
You know, I'm like, I don't think I'm entertaining. I said, forget about wanting to entertain people. Just be you. Because the moment you try and do something because you want to entertain people, people are going to see it and you're going to get a huge backlash.
100%.
Just do the right thing.
Yeah.
The ones that feels right at that time.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yeah. This has been amazing podcast and chill. We are here. Boom.
Enda. Bamini.